beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about this new palette from Too Faced. Well, new-ish. They have since started dropping their holiday releases. Yes, I did order some of those, so I wanted to make sure I got a review of this out first before I started getting into holiday. So let's talk about this Too Faced Palm Springs Dreams palette. This is priced at $45 US. That is pretty pricey for a 12-pan eyeshadow palette. We're getting into like Anastasia Beverly Hills territory there. This is a Sephora exclusive, since this is technically part of their Peaches and Cream line, which is exclusive to Sephora. Of course, you can also find this on the Too Faced website. This palette has a heavy-duty plastic packaging. It does have a magnetic closure. The packaging is really cute. It does have like a texture to it. It's not just printed on, and it looks like a retro hotel. It's really, really cute. When we look inside, we do have a nice big mirror in here. There's no brush, no sponge, nothing like that. There are 12 eyeshadows, and the names are, of course, printed inside next to the pans. This palette is scented like all of their other Peaches and Cream products. It does have a scent to it. This smells different to me. It's not just that peach and sweet fig cream type of scent. This isn't as sweet. It's like a spicy peach. I actually really like that, and I do think it fits with the theme because this says it is a cocktail party eyeshadow palette. So I like that it has that like spicy cidery type of twist to it, but I did want to mention that I know a lot of you guys out there are sensitive to fragrance in your makeup, or some of you simply just don't like the scent. So this is scented. It's a little bit different than the other peach products, but I actually like that. Of these 12 eyeshadow shades, 6 are matte, and then 3 are just regular shimmers, and 3 are more of like a glittery topper type of shade. I did use all 3 different types of finishes from this palette in my eye look today. So when we get to the tutorial, you'll get to see how they all perform. First, let's go ahead and do some swatches of this palette. As usual, I will be doing both finger and brush swatches just on the inside of my arm with no primer down first, just the shadow straight onto my skin. And even with these topper type shades, I'm just using a dry brush. I'm not going to wet the brush, but I will show you a little demo later on of me applying some of the topper shades with a damp brush so you can really see the difference. The finger swatches will be on top, and then each brush swatch will be below. I will be using my trusty e.l.f. flat eyeshadow brush for the brush swatches and cleaning off in between each shade using my Vermona color switch. That way there's no transfer between swatches. So let's take a look at those swatches now. Here are the swatches of the first half of the palette. We have Cabana Time and Saucy and Bossy, which are both mattes. TFTI is a metallic. BYOB and Rum Tiki are both mattes, and Swizzle Stick is one of the glittery topper type shades. Now for the second half of the palette, we have Last Call, a shimmer. She's Lit, a peach matte. Dirty Martini and Buzzkill are both the glittery topper shades. Mocktail is a super opaque orange matte. And lastly, Swank is a straight up metallic. Before we get into the tutorial, I just want to show you an example of how these toppers can perform differently. You already saw how different they look with a finger or a brush swatch. So I'm just going to show you this shade, Dirty Martini. It's one of those glittery topper type shades, and I chose this one because it is a little bit more opaque color-wise compared to those 2 pink shadows. So here's what it looks like just finger swatched on its own. Pretty subtle. Now I'm going to take a brush that I dampened with some setting spray, and I'm going to go into that exact same Dirty Martini shadow. See the difference there? You can get a super metallic, like really foily looking shadow if you just dampen your brush a little bit first. Alright, now you've seen all the shadows swatched. Let's take a look at a quick eyeshadow tutorial using this Palm Springs Dreams palette, and then I'll wrap up all my thoughts at the end. I'm starting off just like I always do by priming my eyes with my favorite eye base. It's the MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. Then I used this pale matte shade called Cabana Time just to set that base and give a nice smooth surface to work on. Now for my transition shade, I'm first starting with She's Lit, and I'm working that right into the crease area and blending upwards a little bit so that we see that shade sort of peeking through on the eye look. Next, I'm going to start mapping out a sort of spotlight look. I'm using SAUCY and BOSSY. This is a mid-tone matte. I'm putting that on the outer part of my eye first, and I will go back and add a darker matte on top, but I like to just sort of lay out where I want my shades to be. And I am adding that to the lower lash line as well, and then going into the inner part of the eye so that I can start to create that little halo effect. And before I do anything else, I'm going to go back and blend just a little bit using my original crease shade, She's Lit. Now I'm taking Last Call, and using my finger, I'm going to apply that all over the lid, but concentrating on the center part. Then finally going in with my darker matte shade, this is BYOB, and taking it over the spaces where I originally put that medium matte. This method makes it easier to blend the mattes, and it also makes it more difficult to make a mistake. And when we're working with really dark shades, you want to make sure that you're being precise. Going back, just doing a little bit of blending with no additional product. And then I'm going to take the shade Buzzkill on my finger. This is one of those topper shades, and I'm just tapping that over my shimmer shade. Then I did go back with a dampened brush and put that right in the middle for the most impact. I used my Salt New York cream highlighter in the shade Beige for my inner corner highlight. I knew I wanted just a little something there. Curled my lashes and added my L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara. That finishes off my look. I love how this turned out. You could do this exact same look, but just switching out the shimmer colors, so you could make it more of a bright pink, you could do more of a gold yellow, or even put that blue right in the center for a pop. I have a lot of the same feelings for this palette as I did for my Celestial Storm palette, the Kristen Dominique palette that I reviewed pretty recently. The mattes in here were really, really nice. Very soft, very blendable, great opacity. The brush swatches were even better than the finger swatches, which I love because typically I'm going to be applying my mattes in particular with a brush. I was a little bit disappointed when I first swatched these topper type of shades. I just found myself wishing for like more impact, more color, but just like in my Celestial Storm palette video, I really started to appreciate these for what they are, and they do offer a lot of versatility within this palette. I'm sort of coming around to these shimmery topper type of shades because you can use them mixed with another shadow just to add some extra sparkle, or applied with a damp brush. You can still get that really foiled, intense metallic payoff that I tend to really love from a shimmer shadow. Again, it wasn't love at first swatch, but the more that I've used these and played with them and sort of manipulated the shadows, the more I've come around to really liking them. Now let's talk about what I think will be a pretty big point of contention for this palette, and that's the color scheme. We are really sticking with that warm, a lot of neutrals, pop of blue, the dreaded pop of blue. I am not going to fault Too Faced for that. I think that the reason why we keep seeing this kind of color scheme is because at the end of the day, consumers tend to like it, and it makes sense for brands to make palettes that their consumers are going to want to buy and use. It is not the world's most innovative color scheme in a palette, but I'm actually not mad at it. It is what it is. This is what the Too Faced customer likes, and I'm a Too Faced customer and I like it. Did I need this exact collection of shades in my life on my vanity? No, not really. But I'm not gonna hate this palette simply for that. This palette just is what it is shade-wise, so, you know. Some people are gonna hate it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm not like living and dying for it, but I'm not mad at it. With that being said, I would change a couple things with this palette. First of all, I would have loved to see some of these pops of color where we're seeing, you know, the yellow, pink, blue. I wish one of those was a matte shade. I think that would have really added a lot to this palette. It really would have set this palette apart from others that exist in the Too Faced family. I also would have loved to see this Palm Springs Dreams palette as one of their little mini palettes. I've been a big fan of the mini palettes, the Shake Your Pom Poms, Sugar Cookie, but there was a little peach one too. I really like that mini palette format, and I think that it would have been cool for Too Faced to do something with a little bit more pop of color within that mini palette line. Those have all been pretty neutral thus far, so I think that this could have been cool as a mini palette. But that's just me, you know, I don't work at Too Faced. For some reason, they have not hired me yet. Just kidding. Or am I? Call me. I think the quality is good. The color scheme is okay. It's useful. It makes sense. All in all, not my favorite ever palette from them, but definitely not a bad one if you're interested in this color scheme. If you really like neutrals, but you just want to dip your toe in the waters of color a little bit, this could be a good choice for you. Now's the time when I want to hear what you guys think about this palette. Leave a comment down below. Let me know, is this on your radar? Are you gonna pass? Are you over it? Are you loving it? Let us know down in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Cocktail Party Eyeshadow Palette. Well, since I'm wearing it, I guess it's time to start drinking. Just kidding. Just kidding. But am I? Oh man, it's all messy because I've been using it and swatching it. Lo siento. It does have a... Oh, has a good magnet too. That's a good one. Brush, my trust check tape. We love a versatile product. My poor swatch brush needs to be cleaned so badly. This brush has stood the test of time. Why e.l.f. isn't sponsoring every single one of my palette review videos, no one will ever know because I rep that brush so hard. Very similar, intense metallic. This, you know, this thing right here. Give this video a thumbs up if you have a zit in the middle of your face. I never say that. I'm never like, thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, that just feels weird to me. It feels unnatural. Like, if you want to subscribe, you're going to. If you want to like the video, you're going to. Like, I don't need you to tell me to do it, okay? I'm an adult. Oh, wow, that got away from me. All right, anyway, have a great day. You look beautiful. Bye.